Hey, good morning. Welcome to Plugged In. We're going to be in Daniel chapter 6 one more time right after this. And we're back. Glad to be with you this morning. I hope everything's going wonderful for you. Another week of school down and another one starting up. So hopefully everything's going well with you. So we're going to wrap up Daniel today. We started in chapter 1. I really actually only wanted to go through. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't know I was going to go this far, but we're going to finish up in Daniel chapter 6 today. We've been there a few weeks, and so we're going to end it by starting out this way this morning. Just a statement of truth that waiting is hard to do. I mean, it just does not matter what you're waiting for, where you're waiting. It can be a little bit frustrating. It could be at a doctor's office. It could be at the dentist's office. The DMV, that's a great place to wait. And you wonder if you've got all the right papers. Maybe you're waiting in line at Walmart to check out, or waiting in line at a drive-thru. When you were a child, it was Christmas time, and you would see the Christmas presents under the tree, and you were anxious to open some, but your mom usually was the one that was the bearer of bad news. She'd be like, well, you need to wait, 5 more days till Christmas. 5 days to a child is an eternity. I mean, it's never going to get there. Okay. But just waiting is very hard for us to do. And I think God does that in our lives just to test our patience. One biblical example, and there's a number of biblical examples we could use about patience and waiting, but one in particular happens to Abraham and Sarah. He's 75 years old when God promises him that he's going to be the father of a great nation. And it's not until he's 100, 25 years later. 1,300 weeks, 9,125 days that Abraham had to wait for the promise to be fulfilled. You read that story in Genesis chapter 12 to about Genesis chapter 21, verse 5. And it takes about 45 minutes to read that. But that was 25 years for Abraham. And God had to remind him a few times. God reminded him in Genesis chapter 15, Genesis chapter 17, Genesis chapter 18. He needed to remind Abraham, I'm going to fulfill the promise. The interesting thing is actually God could have given to Abraham Isaac before the 25 years. He could have actually waited till the 27th year. That was just God's way of being in control. But as we talk about this waiting thing, as I'm on that subject this morning, I'm thinking about the fact that, waiting is a hard thing to do. And whether it's 25 years or as in the story that we've been looking, Darius, who had to wait all night to find out if his friend, I'm just going to call him his friend, because I think that really Darius and Daniel had a friendship. And I think that's part of the reason why he could not sleep the night before, during the night that Daniel was in the den of lions, because I think that what Darius began to realize is the faith of Daniel was actually starting to affect his belief in God. And he had given in to the other government officials. He wanted to save face. He wanted to win the popular vote. But now he finds himself up all night and he cannot sleep. He's pacing the floor, maybe wringing his head. He's probably his hands. He's probably rehashing over the decision that he made to make the first decree, and wondering what kind of leader he really was. He wasn't as bold as he thought he was. And so at the first crack of dawn, when the sun just started to make its way over the horizon, Darius is gone. He has left the chambers and he is down at the den. He wants to know. And he approaches that den, and he does so aggressively, but yet he's a little hesitant. Hey, Daniel, are you there? Did you make it through the night? Did your God rescue you? And he doesn't have to wait very long. Daniel immediately replies, "Long live the king. Great is the king. My God has rescued me. He shut the mouths of the lions." And the text tells us that Darius was overjoyed. He was excited. He saw the hand of God working, the one who Daniel had put his faith and trust in. Now, if you read through the rest of the story, what you find out is that those who had made the decree or issued the decree or wanted the king to do it, they and their families wound up in the lion's den. And I did this same sermon and the series at our church, and I grouped this question: who shut the mouth of the lions when Daniel was there? And everybody said, well, it was God. And I said, and who opened them when Daniel was not there? That too was God. God saved and he spared Daniel. And I think he did that so he could grab a hold of Darius. And it did. So what I want to do as we wind up this morning is I want to show you what Darius does. And it's similar to what King Nebuchadnezzar did in chapter 3. If you remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they stood strong. They said, hey, even if God doesn't rescue us, we're not going to bow down. But then King Nebuchadnezzar notices that there's a fourth person in the fiery flames. Darius does the same thing. He is so overwhelmed by the God of Daniel that he makes this decree. We're going to put it up here on the screen for you. Here's what it says. He says, I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. I'm going to ask Peter to just actually keep that up there for just a few more seconds, because I want us to all look at that for a second. That's what Darius said after Daniel came out of the lion's den. And that is still a true statement today. Our God is the living God, and he endures forever. And he rescues and he saves. And whatever den you might be in, whatever lions you feel might be attacking you, when you put your faith in God, God is going to rescue you from whatever is attacking you. I want to say thank you again for watching each week. We appreciate this time. I don't know what we're going to do next week when I'm with you, but I'm sure the Lord will direct my thoughts, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you. So thanks again for watching this week, and we'll see you next week on Plugged In.